welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night, so of course that means we're playing Valley by Night River City, or Vampire 5th Edition actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me as usual will be Jeremy playing Egidio, Sarah playing Emma, and Eric playing Kyle. Alright, we had left off last week. We had just wrapped up the night. And it had been a fairly eventful night. You had lost some people, or lost a person, followed up by a couple of others when the house was booby-trapped. You're not entirely certain who's behind it, though someone was filming the site and someone did retrieve that camera before you could. All of this following on the heels of y'all having y'all's domain put under surveillance.
Yeah.
So you did find out it was not just you. It's places all over the city. Even one of your cam resources let you know the cam has been discovering cameras.
Yep.
So the sun sets and you all rise. Give me those rouse checks.
That's a fail.
That is a fail for me too.
Oh, I should get on roll 20. That also helps.
Maybe a bit.
I'm good.
Alright, Kyle. When you wake up, you have multiple messages on your phone.
Okay. From whom?
A couple of the girls that work for you.
Okay, what did they say?
They're all pretty much saying the same thing. Can you come open the bar? Zeke never showed up.
It would have passed a very pleasant evening had shit not gotten real.
One second, I need to check the PDF. Because you may have just triggered something with that. I need to check the PDF.
It's a possibility. While you're doing that, though, we'll jump to everybody. Egidio, what do you do when you first wake up?
I believe I'm hunting. I think I'm at hunger 3, so I should hunt. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let me do that. One, two. Oh, that one fell off. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Okay. You call your guy up. He's got something for you.
Hell yeah. Does it have to get me to 0 to 1 hunger?
You're at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got enough for you to get 2.
Hell yeah.
He meets you out back behind the blood bank. Well, the blood center.
I think, awkward situation aside, of just making conversation when he's there is just asking if everything's been all right, outside of this deal that we have, if everything's been all right in the center.
Yeah, I mean,
No
since that break-in a few months back, a couple months back.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Well, it's a blood center. Who would, why would anybody break in here? Some nut
People
vandal.
are fucking weird. People are fucking weird is what I'm learning at my time in America.
Yeah, they're only getting weirder.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, thanks a lot. And then he'll grab it and go.
Pops a Capri Sun in it, walks or Capri Sun straw.
Emma, you wake up. Not feeling too
It
peckish.
probably also shouldn't be. It'll be assumed even if I don't say it. Ginio's like taking the circuitous routes.
Yeah. Lots of back alleys and
Back
side
alleys.
streets,
Yep.
shadowy areas. Emma's gonna do the usual, check the phone, check the email.
Let's see. Nothing pressing. You get a message from your, shall we call her your cousin?
Yeah, her cousin.
Was that Harmony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, she's caught wind of everybody's fear that the Inquisition is in town. So it's just sort of an extra. Be sure to keep your head down.
Head down and hat on. She doesn't put that part, but I always keep my head down.
And my hat on.
And her hat on. She's got like the worst hat head. She will make her way over to. Not going to go directly to the office. She'll probably go there if everyone asks if they're meeting up, but she's just going to kind of take circuitous routes around and look for cameras, stuff like that.
Okay.
Reach out to, if any of the other barons reach out, see if they have any more information, that kind of thing. Make sure there's been everyone's, no more minuses to add to the logbook.
Give me a wits awareness as you're walking around.
If I get more points, I need to add into that again.
Mm-hmm. Do we have to make another note?
No, I just haven't got enough points to do that yet. 3.
Okay. You don't spot any new cameras. As you make your way through one of the little wooded areas, the best way not to be seen. You do stumble across another kindred feeding.
Anyone she recognizes or anything?
You are pretty sure you've seen him sitting around the dead man's drink back before the lockdown, sitting around the dead man's drink before. It's somebody from the area.
Yeah.
You don't remember their names right off the top of your head.
If they don't make eye contact with her, she's just gonna kind of back up, like, "Oh, sorry, didn't know that this forest was occupied," and just backtrack.
And we've got Vancouver by night in the chat.
Hey guys.
Oh.
Hello.
When you say that, his head snaps around. He's got an almost feral look in his face.
If she wouldn't have actually said that out loud, she would have just kind of slowly backed up. She knows some people might be a little bit more weird about feeding in public, even if it's other kindred, and she's just like, "I'm gonna pretend I wasn't here," and just.
Well, this is in the woods, so how in public it is.
Yeah, but.
But he's crouching over whoever it is he's feeding on, and they're like laying there twitching.
She's gonna make a note to check the area, maybe in like an hour or so, to make sure there's no bodies left behind.
Okay.
And she'll like mentally file away who it might be and maybe check in and be like, hey, made sure if you did happen to drain them to hide the body, right? Take care of all that. Masquerade and all that.
Give me a dexterity stealth.
Oh, good.
Wait, those are your stats.
That's my good. Those are some of my good stuff.
Oh, well, clearly I made a mistake then.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's not too late. I haven't pulled all the dice out yet. Well, the dice. I have plenty of dice, but most of them said no. 2 out of 7.
Oh,
Dice were like, the woman was too shocked to speak.
Alright, let's see if they notice you.
check for fuck, my voice is going again. I was like,
That
I
second
can't do a
puberty is
fucking
rough.
owl. Yeah.
Alright, now he got a critical failure. Wow.
Oh
He
shit!
like super doesn't notice you.
He is lost in the sauce.
Quite literally lost in the sauce.
You should just make a note of that and maybe send someone by to just kind of check the area later and reach out to them.
Nah, so you continue on your way. You're, patrolling the domain or whatever. More or less slowly making your way over towards the office, but not like
Yeah.
not really headed that way. Alright, back to Kyle.
Okay, so I don't frenzy.
That's good. That would freak your dog and your rat out.
Yeah. He is gonna just dump some food with the rat. Yeah, not paying attention, so more than usual. And he'll just grab some food and he'll be feeding Shiloh on the way, but he is taking a walk to the bar.
Have you responded to any of the messages?
No. He is just making a beeline for the bar.
So you cut across the mall parking lot. It's empty, of
Mhm.
course. The mall's closed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 1 or 2 cars because there's always 1 or 2 cars just sitting there.
Mhm.
As you round the corner, you see some of your workers sitting out in front of the building.
Mhm.
On the tables y'all set up.
Yeah.
Most of them are on their phones. As you're walking across, you see a car pull up. One of the wait staff comes out and tells people, basically, we're not open. We're locked out. Locked out of the building at the moment.
Mhm.
And they all apologize and stuff. The car drives off. Then they spot you walking across the.
Mhm.
Well, hey, Kyle. You really need to check your phone during the day more.
Usually asleep.
So, have you heard anything from Zeke?
I haven't, no. Nils. Before he unlocks the door, he'll just sort of take a look around, just make sure, like, what does the inside of the bar look like?
You don't see anything that looks unusual. None of the tables or chairs overturned, nothing smashed up. It looks normal.
Nothing that looks like it might be attached to one of the doors.
Oh, I thought you mean you were like glancing through the windows to see what there was.
Well, I mean, he's checking for that too, but he's
Give me a wits awareness, see if you notice anything.
okay.
He's trying to disarm Trap.
Mhm. Well, okay then. I'm going to spend a willpower to re-roll these 2 crits that I have, because there's also a crit on the hunger dice.
You can be super aware.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so they both came up as failures, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Alright.
And I don't bestial critical.
No, you don't see any sort of like tripwires or anything like that on the
Hmm.
door. Doesn't look like it's been tampered with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, he'll unlock the door. and get the crew inside.
All right. And you know they immediately start getting the place open with lights on and all that.
Hmm.
They know their stuff pretty well, even without Zeke here rattling off orders.
Yeah.
One of the girls tells you, yeah, we tried calling him, but it kept going to his voicemail.
Hmm. I'll have him as a no-show for right now, but if he doesn't show up tomorrow, then I'll put in a missing persons report.
Oh, you think he's missing and not just sick, forgot to call? Somebody else speaks up. Hey, he's usually pretty good at getting somebody else the key if he's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of their chatter is
Mm-hmm.
is he sick? Is he missing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which of course leads into all the other weird stuff that's been going on around the bar earlier in the year.
Yeah. And Kyle will be going through the logs, or basically the security, see if anything springs to mind, or if anything like is visible there. And maybe he showed up and someone went yoink.
Okay, you don't see anything obvious like that.
Mm-hmm.
The last you see of him was him closing up, the night before.
Yeah. Okay. He'll stay and help the rest of the staff get everything situated. And
Okay.
after that, he'll probably swing by Zeke's place because, need a residence for employment and all that.
Oh yeah. You have his address on file.
Excuse me.
All right, GDO. After you have done your hunting.
Yep. Once again, just kind of milling about town. Well, I say about town, but about our domain. And just checking to see if there's anybody hanging out at the same time I'm hanging out that hasn't done that before. And I'm doing this on the way to the office.
Okay. Give me a wits awareness.
Sure. That is 4 successes.
Okay. You notice a van with tinted windows.
Mhm.
It's parked back like you've got the mall, that wooded area kind of behind the mall, Well, right at those woods, there used to be not that your character would know this, there used to be a movie theater there. That's all torn down, so it's just flat. You know, you can tell there was a building there, and the van is basically parked in that parking lot.
Does it look like it's been there for a while?
You don't remember seeing it the night before, but you weren't necessarily looking for it.
Gonna chill out and see what's going on with that. Just gonna pick a spot and just shadow it. In my case, quite literally. Just let me know when you want me to roll stealth on that.
Okay. Because you'd have been probably cutting across the mall parking lot when you saw it. So you probably pass and then circle back, maybe using the woods.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity stealth.
Yep.
Or if your ability factors into it.
My ability factors into it, and so does my specialty, because I'm shadowing it. Or my specialty, rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Let's go 11 dice. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Okay. So you circle back around. You're watching the van. Every now and then it shifts a little bit, like somebody inside may have moved around.
Am I on the front side or the back side? Or am I on the driver's side or the passenger side?
We'll say driver's side and then kind of back behind it. Like not directly behind it, but you know.
Up and around where it's like a 3/4 angle?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Like you can see the back of the van fine and you can see along one side around the road.
Can I see the license plate?
Yes.
Okay. I will write down the license plate.
Okay.
It's probably not great, but might be worth a shot.
Looks like a normal tag. It's a 52 tag,
Yep.
which is the number for the county that carries in.
Yep. I think while I'm doing this, I'll just text in the group chat. Don't wait. I'll be a little late headed in. I'll be a little late checking in. I'll say.
Just a thumbs up emoji. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That list is pretty short.
Another thumbs up, just as she kind of like looks at her phone, like.
And while you're
I like
watching,
the idea that she just looks at it like, what does that mean?
Like, there's a lot of things I wouldn't do.
I take off my hat. Not even in the shower.
Actually, surgically adheres to her skull.
So yeah, you see the van move a little bit every now and then. At one point, the driver's window cracks, and a little bit of smoke comes out.
Of it. He'll be here long enough to determine whether or not it's stoners or hunters. Then I will
Maybe it's
actually
stoner
turn on
hunters.
heightened senses.
Okay.
See if I can hear a conversation inside.
As soon as you turn the heightened senses on, you can hear a little bit. You know, definitely there's definitely at least 2 different voices in there.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there a window cracked for smoke to come out?
Yeah, he's not right up on the van.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind it.
Okay. I understand now.
I'm just trying to. I guess I don't need to hear that what the particular conversation is, but I want to hear, is it like is it staccato like someone's giving orders? Is it just calm conversational?
You know, give me a wits awareness, see if you can pick up anything
Sure.
more than just the murmuring. You can just kind of hear by default.
Holy fuck! Let me re-roll that. That was all blank dice.
Oh dear.
2 successes.
Two successes. That's not great. It's a little bit. The window is cracked.
Maybe it's just little snippets when the window's cracked.
One of the guys sounds a little agitated.
Mhm.
He's basically telling the other one, it walked right in front of us. We should have taken it out then.
Oh shit.
Where the other one's like, yeah, that's not what we're here for. Yeah. And it was, out there wide in the open.
Mhm.
What if that mall is full of them? And then what? Basically, just stay calm. We're just here till dawn. So.
Okay. You know those geolocator games where they give coordinates? I'm gonna disguise my text as something like that. I'm not sending it to the coterie yet. I'm sending it to crap, what's her name? I'm sending. Where's the build? Where is it parked to? Is it a particular building that might be upset to know that there's a van parked in loitering?
It's basically an empty parking lot behind around where a movie theater used to be behind the mall.
Mm.
So it's all plugged into the mall parking lot, basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, I wonder if Woodard would like to hear that.
They're kind of pointed at her building, so
yeah. So
Got some
I
damn
will.
youths.
I'll say not that Egidio would know, but Kyle did walk that way going to the bar. So that could have
just walks behind Kyle just walks behind Egidio as he's like going to the bar. And then yeah, he wants to see what Woodard wants to do first. This is our property. I will see, and I know it's our domain, but still got to give the occupant the first strike at it, so to speak. At least that's what's going on in his head. And then yeah, he'll text Woodard and be like, and just give like one of those geolocator things and just give those coordinates.
You get like a question mark back.
God. I truly get to see how young I've made Egidio. If I made him young enough to post an Among Us meme.
He would know.
I don't think so.
We're that young.
Huh?
We're that young.
Well, I don't know. He was embraced just 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is during COVID. Was Among Us even out? How early in COVID did Among Us come out?
Good lord.
It came out pretty soon.
I have to look up when Among Us came out.
It came out in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it's been out for a while. It got popular during the pandemic because we had nothing else to do.
Yeah, and we're all like brand new vampires anyway. So we've been turned like within the last year.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, whether he paid any attention to it, is up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Egidio does that. I think he just posts like an out there Among Us meme, and just the point of the meme is like it's something to the effect of sus. Just saying this is sus.
Woodard trying to track down one of the younger vampires. What does this mean?
Just find a Zoomer vampire. Like, hey, what does this say?
Just looking at it with her
Uh,
glasses, like,
Show it to and then he'll text. Show it to Ada.
Ada's older.
Is she?
She discussed World War II like she'd been there.
Oh, okay, fair
Ada would look at it and be like, showing the children.
enough.
I think Ada's like deceptively. She looks.
Okay.
She was embraced young, but is old.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, she looks like 2021.
Yeah, it's
She's
sort of
just,
like
but she's petite, so.
yeah, but say it's kind of like how Samuel was, because he looked like late mid-20s, but he was fighting in World War II.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, and Egidio will wait a while for that to be deciphered, and just like stay stationary here.
Please
And
hold
then
while your
after
meme is
like
being processed.
if he doesn't get a message in like 5 minutes,
Mhm.
then he'll go, "Hey guys, there's a. I think I found some loiterers over by the mall. They look like they're up to no good."
yeah, you're just about to do that, you know. When you get the
Like have the message
when you
ready.
get like a thumbs up emoji back, which doesn't strike you as a Woodard or Ada thing. Well, maybe Ada, just because she's been, interacting with y'all via text. So.
Yeah. I think Ada's the Gen Z translator, even though she's much older, just because she's had to deal with our shit.
Gaining fluency by exposure.
Yeah. And then I get the acknowledged. And then I will tell I'll still tell my coterie. I'll do the same like geotag thing.
Question mark.
I'll post the same Among Us meme.
Is this sus?
And then I'll start walking to the bar. Or I'll walk in a direction that that I usually take that lets me see the bar as I'm going towards the office.
Yeah.
Yes. You've got some successes to work with, buddy.
Yeah.
I start walking and there's just like a fucking gangrel just like going after the van.
I rolled low, so yes, he is storming out of the bar.
Huh? All right, so I guess as I walk that way, I see I see Kyle going this way.
Wasn't he going towards Zeke's address though?
That's true.
He was going to once he finished helping the bar get set up
Oh, okay.
for the night.
Yes, but this happened.
Yeah, you'll pass me by.
Well, that depends on which
Do I
way he
see
loops
you
around.
walk
Because
with
this would be
purpose?
behind the mall from where the bar is. So
Okay.
he'll have to loop around one way or the other.
Got a
Mhm.
clipboard.
Do I
Yeah.
see you walking with purpose with a clipboard?
Mhm. I mean,
Okay.
maybe not with a clipboard, but there's purpose behind it.
Just claws out.
What was your stealth roll again?
7.
7.
I'm not saying you can't get it because you're the more perceptive one. I'm just saying.
So he does smell you.
Okay.
Because I got 7. Don't see you because you're thing, but your scent does catch him as he goes by. And he
That nice phone music.
pauses.
Wait, if
Continues
he's
to
doing this
walk.
based off scent, are they actually just hotboxing in the van?
There's like some secondhand weed going on.
He's way too far away to smell
He
that.
gains a point of hunger.
Let's
Egidio
go.
isn't like leaving. He just wants it. Especially if he sees like Kyle walking this way, he's like, and he'll see Kyle go that way. I'm like, hey.
What?
Gotta approach these guys carefully. They probably have people who are watching them or whatever. I
Do you
texted
have
Woodard.
anyone set on them?
I texted Woodard.
Good. When she gets a hold of them,
Hmm.
I will be questioning them.
Perfect. As long as we agree that she's getting a hold of them. This is kind of,
You have
Dark
no
domain,
idea.
but, like-
Oh, you have no fucking idea.
all right, what I miss.
Hmm. Zeke never made it into the bar,
Ah, I see.
and
Fair enough.
nobody can get a hold of him.
If Zeke turns out to be a hunter, I'm fighting you personally. Jason.
Yeah, we're Jason. I'm driving. I'm leaving my monitor right now. I'm driving all the way
I
down
hadn't really
there.
thought about that, but he was becoming suspicious of all the weird stuff going.
No, just
And
let us
there's
have
really,
one. Just
if you think about it, is there anybody in your life that you like well enough that you found out they ate people you wouldn't immediately turn on?
Yeah.
This is not an ideal I'd had. Thank you for the idea.
yeah. Thanks, thanks, Deca.
It will have nothing to do with this story, but I make no promises for future stories.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of our NPCs that we love, that we trust and cherish, sus.
Yep.
This is why I can't play an exec if we do Cyberpunk.
No, this would be a great way to play an exec because you should assume that everybody is out to get you regardless.
But my lackeys, I would love them.
Well, their thing is there a specific mechanic built in? There's a specific loyalty mechanic built into them based on how you treat them.
Fair enough.
So,
But back to
game
the story.
mechanics literally says they are loyalty based on how you treat them.
Like we'll put a hand on Kyle's shoulder and be like, this one's for discretion. Have you spotted? Have you got his scent? You got my scent. Did you get his?
I know where to go to look for him.
The van engine cranks up.
This
During the day you wouldn't
Well-
notice it, but at night it's quiet enough that you can hear the van
Yep.
start up.
okay. I don't get any
I'll-
hungrier,
I'm
but
not stopping him.
Kyle does activate toughness.
I will take a step back.
Yeah, I mean, like, as Kyle's his shoulders sort of roll back, and he looks like he's
Uh-huh.
about to start flexing.
Yep. Gino takes a step back and just like has a hand on his piece just in case.
Okay. So this thing here is the mall. The bar,
Mhm.
up above it. They're parked
Uh-huh.
back behind it, and y'all are coming around
Yeah.
this side. The van pulls off and heads this way.
Ah.
South. It's the same end of this area that the like the Blood Center Zone, Danville Road, that southern border.
So kind of the way I was coming in to begin with.
It's well, really, it's how you get out of the mall.
Yeah.
You either get out on the Beltline or you get out on Danville Road.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, buddy, I'm not stopping you. Just somewhere that's not visible. That's all I say. That's all I ask. I guess also, do you need a hand? But somewhere that's not visible.
But you're so good at staying out of visibility.
Yes, I am. You're supposed to be like a ambush hunter or something.
That's more Walter's thing.
Even a lion knows when to hide. So we clock that it's going towards like the blood bank.
Right. That it's headed to the south end of the map.
Do you want to go chase that now, or do you want to go to the office? I got his plate number.
Let's go to the office. I believe it's going to take Emma to keep me from chasing them down and ripping limb from limb.
We walk
Emma.
off and he's like, we walk off and he's just singing, "If I lay here, if I just lay here."
Egidio,
Yes.
tell Woodard that they're leaving. Do something useful.
Okay. Text Twitter that they left. What is that? Eastward, westward,
South.
Southbound.
southbound. Southbound towards. He'll say it in thieves in the vampire thieves can't, but like basically saying that they went southbound towards the blood bank.
You get a response back. On Danville Road now.
Here, overheard bits and as we're walking, he'll say, overheard bits and pieces of the conversation. Someone was really agitated that they didn't just strike at somebody because they were right in front of them. I'm pretty good at hiding. I'm not saying it wasn't me.
I didn't
I'm
walk.
pretty good at hiding.
I didn't walk behind the mall to get to the bar.
Well, it could have been any number of reckless vampires, or my suspect is that Walter was in front of a hunter at the time. But these guys are definitely hunters.
I see.
And they're gonna leave. They're scheduled to leave at dawn, but we can make them leave much sooner.
Oh, I plan on it.
Excellent.
Alright, so y'all get to the office. Nobody else is at the office yet.
Mm-hmm.
Does Kyle have Shiloh with him?
Yes, he does.
How does Emma respond to all these, geo coordinates?
She's kind of looking at it, and she sees that's for the mall. Did Gidio mention that he let Woodard know?
I did when they as they leave.
Okay.
It would have been like I let the landlord know, but was pretty suspicious.
She's not gonna go bugging Ada or Woodard like right off the bat because they haven't even had a chance to kind of case it. She is gonna kind of maybe peek out a window or something, but she's not doing any aggressive moves. And the door's locked and everything, and the usual cameras and security is up, but
Okay, so she was making her way to the office eventually.
yeah.
Oh. In that case, y'all probably all get there about the same time.
Yep. I think as we enter and the doors close behind us, I pretend that we've been mid conversation. Like, so I have something I can do against humans at least. Good old fashioned chemical warfare.
I can just find ways to make them disappear.
So can I. Mine looks like an accident.
Emma just sitting there with her like a cup of tea, not drinking it, just using it to keep her hands warm, but just like, I feel like I've missed something important to this conversation.
There's hunters out in front of the mall, or in the back of the mall rather.
There were, anyway.
Pulls out phone, and Salubri thieves can't sense of harmony. Hey, keep your head really low.
You get like a worried emoji face back.
Trying to figure out what combo of emojis would be good for hunters. There's like a
Heretical.
vampire and a stake,
Probably a little
Or
too on the
just-
nose, but
or maybe just a stake, but
Still
like an
probably on the
actual-
nose.
just like no, like not a eat steak, but like a piece of meat steak.
I'll go to the Baron chat and just be like, be on the lookout. There's some pests in the area. Some big ones too. That's kind of all I leave it at.
one of them, you get a text back. One of them, dogs? Question mark.
No. Bigger.
You're not reassured.
Someone just calls me like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?"
Look, dude, I'm trying to
Someone
find
just-
out. Are you talking about werewolves or what are you talking about?
Someone just drops in. I'm coming to the office. Slams open the door. What do you mean?
And I'll add probably the source of the bugs going around town.
That clears up the confusion. They know who.
Mhm.
Everybody seems to know who you're talking about now. Have you managed to catch any of the pests?
I know where they're going. Found a group of them, so we'll keep you posted.
You get a couple. You get a couple of. Yes, please do.
Oh.
Well, and for Maddox, you get a see that you do.
Yes, boss.
Maddox, like you better damn well.
One moment.
So,
Much can break, I bet.
I think Egidio looks
Much
at
can
looks
break.
at the two the other two and goes, "So, 3 of us? At least 2 or 3 of them?"
Yeah, sure. One hunter for each of us. I love those odds.
I've got explosives.
Yeah, we're already drawing a lot of attention from them to begin with. Blowing them up might draw even more attention from their buddies.
Yeah, he wanted to just charge in there.
Okay, that's fair. It's still less visible than explosion. Not much less visible than explosion. Still somewhat less visible than explosion.
I can cause the stuff they have in their car to go bad.
Like they have rotten egg sandwiches in there. What are? Can you
Yes.
elaborate? Okay. The stuff in their car, is it limited to just
That stuff, it doesn't really discriminate, so you know.
the egg sandwich starts going bad as well as the person that was going to eat the egg sandwich starts going bad?
Yep. And if they eat it, they go double bad.
Dream COVID. Where are we going?
Just
Why am I in this
saying.
handbasket?
Just saying there's options.
Is that something? Mm,
I have
Let's
no
wait to
qualms
hear
with
back.
making them go
Oh
sick.
yeah, no. They can die in a fire, but let's see what Woodard gets back with us
Mhm.
before we go charging.
Woodard said she had someone on that road already. Is that how I understood that?
You
Or
said
that
what
she
direction?
just
I don't
knew
know.
where
Hey,
it went?
hey, how you understood? How you understood it? You said they were heading south, and the response was they're on Denver Road now.
Okay.
While y'all are
I
discussing this,
definitely
the back
misunderstood.
door opens. Miles comes in.
Miles?
Hey, Miles.
Barons, I was hoping tonight was gonna be quiet. Then I started seeing some of these messages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Confirmed hunters.
Well, I
They're
glanced at
here.
the location that y'all posted coming in here. There wasn't. I didn't see anything there.
Yeah, they went
moved.
towards, what was it, Anvil Road?
Danville.
Danville Road, yes.
Danville.
Quick question: was that road or where they were parked near where Emma caught that kindred feeding?
Not especially close. It's back towards that wooded area, but that wooded area it runs almost the length of the domain.
Okay.
So you got that guy kind of up towards the north, a little further up past them all.
Okay.
But oh yeah. So Miles is like, any orders?
I would say
Keep
put
this-
everyone. Go ahead.
Keep power usage to a minimum unless you have a way to make it look like an accident.
No, we're trying to do
Keep
anything too obvious.
Yeah, keep everyone on alert. Anything vaguely suspicious gets reported back. Also, there was a kindred feeding back, and she will kind of gesture to the woods. Could you make sure they didn't leave any wrappers behind?
I'll get somebody on that.
Littering is bad.
Yeah, especially
Littering is
with
very
the
bad.
with the environmentalists in town.
That's a good one. I'll fucking use that. I have to use that one next time. Damn it.
Shakes her head like, "You're welcome, I guess."
Miles kind of leans forward. You realize, Baron Luna, that the more clever you get with some of your coded messages, the harder it is for some of us to understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, but it's either that or they come back in mass. So I'm English isn't my first language.
If else fails, we'll start designating some runners to go between the baronries to carry your pigeon messages.
Smoke signals.
Just bat signals into the sky.
You know, that wouldn't be bad if someone owned a club. They could, because they have the spotlights in the clubs too. So just turn on and off twice.
Adding that onto the weirdness that is already going on around here, no.
I'm not saying any of us own a club. I'm just saying it would be a good way to do it. Anyway, Miles, you're doing great.
All right, I'll let y'all know if we run into anything.
Keep you updated as well. You said you had the license plate number,
Oh,
Judio?
yeah, I do. I'm hesitant to run it because I feel like they have. I don't know. I don't know. The guys, the way they explain hunters to me in Mexico is that they kind of have the technology of the fucking FBI.
I was like, huh.
We also
I
have
figured
a
it was.
NOS.
I figured it was the Pope.
You know, we have a NOS, but like,
So Miles is like, well, what was the just so my boys can keep an eye on it.
oh, and he'll rattle off the number.
He jots it down.
Just it was over on Denver Road, so just see it head anywhere else.
He is on his phone as he's walking out the door. Asking a few guys to ride their bikes down that way. Keep an eye out for this tag.
So, game plan?
Just gonna text Ada real quick. Do you guys have any eyes on the? You guys have any eyes on that thing we were looking for, or did we give up Or are we just gonna look for it later?
Not at the moment. When you first mentioned it, we looked at it, and then it left. Hold on, I'm just a couple minutes away.
We'll see you then.
Just
Looking
he
at-
just like fully like lays on the lays like drapes his legs on the ottoman. At this point, he's like, "All right, it's gonna be a long night in here."
Might not be in here the whole time.
And yeah, just a few minutes later, Ada opens the door. There's like four dudes behind her who all take positions. You know,
Ooh,
flanking the
Yeah.
outside of the door when she comes in. They don't come into the building with her though.
ooh, city guard.
Ada's just yes. Someone over there is getting a little paranoid.
I mean, better paranoid than dead.
Or
Again,
any word?
Well, we received the message, and after some deciphering, really a video game references.
I look.
We had to track down some of the
English
youngest
is
people
not
in the
my
mall.
first language. I'm
Right,
working
video
on it.
games are. Gotcha.
Video games are universal. Anyway,
But yes, as soon as you told us that, we sent a couple of people up on the roof to check them out. And almost as soon as we did that, they drove off. I should stress these people that we set up there are quite stealthy.
who's watching who then?
Well, that's not the important part. When I say quite stealthy, they were obfuscating.
Oh, they're not actually stealthy. They're just invisible.
Well, yes.
Could
Or
be
maybe not,
coincidence they
since the
left.
van left.
It could have been coincidence, or it could have been reason.
Coincidence? Some kind of thermal scanner? I don't know.
Well, we don't give off heat, Egidia.
I'm just spitballing.
Was the van facing the mall?
Yes.
It was
Okay.
facing the mall. I do have the license plate, so I'm a little
Ada-
wary about
Ada
running
pulls
it.
out her book and her little pen.
I'm a little wary. I'll give it to her, but I'll make a note that I'm a little wary about running it because we don't know what they know, right? They might just pull the plate off and stick another one on. They might be doing that already if we've been caught catching them.
Miles is sending some folks that way.
Ada kind of nods.
If there's one van, there's probably more than one van. Is the whole thing.
Yes, we know they were watching. They were watching other domains in the city as well.
Mm-hmm.
She looks over at you. Do you know of anything else? Do you have any other information?
They were talking about there was someone in there who was really pissed off, saying something about they should have just killed the guy who was right in front of them, and that's not what that's not what they're here for. So probably a reconnaissance van.
What did they say they were here for?
Don't know. I didn't get a good listen. They kept their windows up and shit's probably soundproof. But one of them lowered their window to smoke or something, and that's the little bit I heard. But they said they were to leave by dawn. So truly, I think if these people don't make it back, that it's going to be much more a significant show of force that comes by. I'm not saying we can't handle that. I'm just saying those are the options we kind of have at the moment.
Why were they watching them all? That's not a good thing.
It's possible they could have also just been parked there because of it being kind of an abandoned area, but I agree. Would her have anyone that would be watching her? Anyone that may have sold her out?
Would anybody be watching you, Ada?
Oh, the cam would if they could, I'm sure.
Cam would sell you out for a corn chip.
Both of us are like known quantity. I can't think of anything we've done that would draw the Inquisition, though. Of course, they often attack, and we never know what it was that drew their attention.
Do we want to get in contact with our emissary, see if they've heard anything about any possible activities of similar nature in Cam territory?
Well, he already did confirm that they're dealing with some.
Well, of the cameras, yes, but if they've had any random vans of hunters, such as, hotboxing in a parking lot somewhere.
Perhaps another time.
I truly think these guys have to go back. Like, because if they don't, they're just going to show up in force. I guess if they do, they're going to show up in force. So, damned if we do, damned if we don't.
We were damned for the sunset this evening.
Yeah. But
if we could get them, though. Oh. Like how you did with that one. She's looking at Ada. Some kind of hidden command. Are they notoriously resistant? Or just don't know? I mean, they're still human.
All the rumors in here say that I have heard, yes, they're human. Sometimes they're government agents, though best we can tell, not acting on the orders of anybody in the government. Sometimes it's random people, or people who have had some sort of encounter. And of course, sometimes it's the church.
yeah, well.
If all else fails, if someone does manage to find him and catch him, we can try that. Try a couple different things that maybe get us an in.
Well, if you get your hands on one, I'm at your disposal. If you need that sort of assistance.
See what the evening brings. Miles will probably let us know fairly shortly. And the other baronries know about it. Which baronries are would have been close to going into, or is it heading into Cam territory?
You mean the van?
Yeah. It was going.
It was damn close to the south, so it was heading west.
More towards Cam territory.
Well, no, further away, more like away from the city.
Deeper into Anarch territory.
Ugh.
I mean, Denver Road bends around and stuff, so they could go anywhere from that direction.
Definitely send something to the baronries immediately closest to them. Keep an eyeball out for, or trying to think of a way to obscure it without obscuring it too much. Because she's not just gonna flat out be like, "Here's a license plate. Keep an eyeball out for it."
Maybe y'all do need to come with some kind of couriers.
Yeah,
Vampire bike couriers.
we do have bikes.
Vampire Dark Ages. Let's go.
Well, at least it's
Carrier
suspicious of a bunch of
pigeons.
people driving around on bicycles in the middle of the night during lockdown.
Motorcycles. It's the middle of the night. They're just trying to get out. They got cabin fever, man.
Host another Brewhouse rant.
Gonna see if if Miles does have one or two that could split off and maybe go tell the other baronries, and she'll let those barons know that they're gonna have a visitor coming by with some information or with a package form that they left,
Okay, yeah, you could
and at least get them that information.
you could spend a few minutes doing that. Get that set up. Miles will send some guys by. They'll come by, knock on the back door, get the information.
Yeah, just it's one of those. It's a lot harder to get that kind of information out, versus hey, watch out for this guy.
Takes long to get the information out this way, but you can be a lot plainer on what you're talking about, so there's no confusion.
Yeah. And it's not that big, and it's night, and it's locked down, so traffic's fairly light.
So you're arranging all that. You get people coming by. You're giving them information. You get a text from Miles going, didn't see our litter bug. I've cleaned up the wrapper.
I'll try and reach out to the litter bug. I think I know them. I kind of remember the face. Remind them to be a little bit more well-behaved. Moonlight picnics are great, but you gotta clean up afterwards.
Be sure to tell them I am not their janitor.
I will make sure that is abundantly clear.
If you don't need anything else, Ada excuses herself.
Yeah. If we hear anything, we'll call her. If we hear anything, call us, kind of thing.
Yep.
Of course.
I'm like, do we need to get out there and look around too?
I know where I'm going.
Well,
Still got to find your boy, so you go
who?
do that.
And he is leaving.
I'm looking at you. What?
His manager went missing. I'm
Zeke?
not. Yeah,
Ah, shit.
yeah. I'm not doing anything with that.
Yeah, that could make.
All of the times where he's been a little, pissy about the bar. This one I understand.
Yeah, I think he probably knew Zeke even before he was turned, maybe. I mean, he's been at the bar as long as we've all been dropping by there.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Want to go do reconnaissance?
Yeah, let's secure it up here.
Yep. Yeah. Me and Emma will do reconnaissance then.
He took Shiloh with him, correct?
He did take Charlotte with him.
Okay. Don't even have to pay off
Leave
the
a little
dog and
case
chicken
of
nuggets.
Leave a little case of chicken nuggets for when he comes.
Oh, no, there's like in the employee refrigerator or something. There's like frozen chicken nuggets in an air fryer, specifically for Shiloh.
We need to do that at Dragon Con next year.
Yeah.
Make an
pizza
air
nuggets
fryer?
this year. Oh no, I had an air fryer. We did pizza rolls this year.
Nice.
That was good though.
Mhm.
We never did pop the popcorn for movie night.
Nope. But anyways, reconnaissance.
Egidio will will lead Emma to where he was at the ball.
Mhm.
Where the old movie theater was. Are there any cameras there that should not be there?
No, not over that area.
Okay. Let's double check it.
It's
Oh, it's just
basically
kind of-
it's a parking lot that butts up against the mall parking lot, but there's like a sidewalk with a little bit of greenery that separates it.
What's the closest camera there?
Probably one of them mounted to the side of the mall.
That's probably how Woodard saw him.
Mm. I gave Ada the license plate, so they'll be able to probably find them later.
Or at least the license plate. Make sure it matches up with the vehicle.
Hmm. Then he will continue on, and we'll just keep our heads on a swivel. You know,
Yeah.
another unmarked van.
Definitely keeping an ear out for her phone if anything goes off.
Okay.
If we can get like eyes on him or something, I might be able to do something. If nothing else, maybe just, I don't know, foul him into something.
That's the
Alright.
task, isn't it?
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
All right. And Kyle and Shiloh are headed over towards Zeke's place.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not live in the domain proper. It's down south, just in a. He rents a house down, just in its own little neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like free zone for vampires.
This would be yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't recall anybody claiming this area.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Yeah, he'll go and outside like inspection, just like visual look. Anything look odd with the place? Or is this like an apartment or a house? Or...
This is a
I should have
townhouse,
clarified.
so it's attached
Townhouse?
to it.
Okay.
So if you drive by from the front, everything looks normal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the houses have lights on, some don't. Zeke's does not.
Yeah. Is his car there or anything?
You don't see it driving around the front. You drive down the alley in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is one of the places where, all the parking is in the back.
Yeah.
Unless you just park on the street.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his is sitting in the driveway back there.
Okay. So I'll find a place to park and he'll take like a listen after he gets out and he'll tell Shiloh to, keep an ear out, see if you tell me what you hear and what you smell.
Okay, so as soon as you let him out of the truck, he starts sniffing her.
Would you like me to make a wits awareness? See if I find anything?
Sure.
Okay. Could scent potentially play into this? Or is this more of a sight hearing thing?
This would be more of a sight hearing thing.
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay.
Would you like me to roll one for Shiloh as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so he has 5 dice. He did better, 4.
All right, so as y'all are approaching, you parked a couple houses down or whatever. And as you're approaching, Shiloh's filling you in on what he smells,
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel, rabbit, other dogs, some humans, probably children.
Yeah.
Some old people.
Mm-hmm. I love how old people have a distinct smell. That's fantastic.
Some smell on the ground over here that you really like to roll in.
Not now.
As you're approaching, when you get to that driveway, it smells a little bit of. I'm trying to think of how a dog would picture this. It smells kind of like your truck, as opposed to like Emma's car.
Like diesel.
I do say that assuming Kyle's truck is diesel.
I'll say sure. Yeah, it's a big truck.
What you spot looking around,
Mm-hmm.
is the you know, as you're approaching, you know, there's a screen door on the back, and you can see that the door, the wooden door behind the screen door is like cracked open just a little bit.
Since Shiloh mentioned a scent in particular, can I make another wits awareness with scent based?
Sure, sure.
Could I potentially get any advantage, or no?
Well, you don't have enhanced senses. You're just good at picking up on smells. So
Yeah, I mean, scent is a specialty. It's his awareness specialty. So allow me to postulate this argument. He is
Okay.
aware that something is off because his dog picked up on it. So it's not so much, do I smell anything weird? It's, there is something that smells weird here. And I want to try to identify if there's anything else.
Okay, go ahead.
Any extra dice or just my base pool?
Your base pool, but you can throw that specialty in there.
Okay. 5.
When you really stop and sniff, you think maybe you can smell a little exhaust, or where the you know, where there might have been a big vehicle here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you get close to the house, you're not smelling it. You know, it's like that fuel smell is not like coming from the house or anything like that.
Okay. So it was a large vehicle was here, like outside.
Mhm.
Okay. In that case, I'll take like a peek around to see if the door's trapped, because he's already run afoul of a trapped door before. Actually, no. First thing he'll do is he'll check to see if there's any like cameras that have been placed around to keep an eye on the place.
Okay.
That wouldn't be scent based, so.
And this is inside the house, or just on the property. Period.
On the property.
Okay.
First. It's 3 successes.
Okay, you do not spot anything.
Okay. In that case, then he will check to see if like the door has been trapped or anything, and if it hasn't, then he'll let himself in. Any roll you want me to make for that check?
No, you've already made a couple of wits awarenesses. So.
Okay.
No, it does not appear to be trapped. The screen door is undamaged. It opens no problem. The wooden door is damaged. In fact, when you pull it the rest of the way too and let go of it, it drifts back open that little bit. So it's just, it won't catch. The latch won't catch. And you can see where somebody looked like they may have crowbarred their way into it. Or pry bar.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he'll take a look around.
Okay, you go inside. The back door opens up into like the little laundry room area, and then into the kitchen. Laundry room area, nothing looks particularly unusual. You get into the kitchen, and drawers are pulled out. Stuff's been laid out on the counters. It looks like the place has been tossed.
Any like blood around or?
No, and Shiloh doesn't smell any. He smells several different people that were in here, though.
Anything that stands out?
Just people smell.
People smell. Okay.
He like sniffs around the rest of the kitchen, particularly the garbage can, and then off into the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Living room's not in bad shape, but you can see where they pulled books off the bookcases, and they're like laying around.
Any particular pattern to the books that they pulled, like genre or?
You get the impression that they were pulling books off the shelf and then dropping them in piles.
Like they were looking for like hidden bookcase thing, or just
Or flipping through them to see if anything was hidden in there, and then throwing them down when there wasn't.
okay.
Some of there were pictures on the wall, and some of them were moved or a little cockeyed.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks like they might have left, like in the hustle. Like looked like there was some kind of a potentially a scuffle in the kitchen.
No, so far it just looks like this place was searched.
Mm. He'll do an inspection of the rest of the place.
Okay. You get back to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bathroom, spare rooms, all that, same thing. The drawers have been gone through. What have you.
Mm-hmm.
When you get back to the bedroom, of course, it's been tossed. The bed sheets are like half pulled off the bed.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an old CD rack that's been knocked over. There's one set of little shelves that were on the wall that look like something smashed. Look like something broke. Got slammed into them and they broke.
Mm-hmm.
So given the little bit of damage in here, there may have been a scuffle in here. There's another parts of the house. It doesn't look like they were careful, but it doesn't look like they were just smashing stuff up either.
Yeah. It looks like they were searching the rest of the house, and here it looks like some kind of a fight broke out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he'll take a look around, see if there's anything he can find that might have something he could use.
All right, give me a wits awareness.
Okay. Would this be scent based?
This would not be.
Not be? Okay. So just base wits awareness.
I mean, Shiloh would tell you basically all the people he's smelled in the house have been in here for sure.
Okay.
And he
So I do not
recognizes the
get
one
any-
from the bar.
So don't get any hungrier. I am rousing my wits for this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll use a willpower and reroll 3 of these.
Okay.
Because that was almost all blanks.
Oh, I was like my dice earlier.
Yeah, I know.
That's why you should use
Okay,
roll
so-
20. They roll 20 loves you.
Okay, so with the additional crit that got rolled, that is a critical success, so 5.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a regular success on a hunger die and a crit on a black die, and then the other 5 dice were blanks. And then I re-rolled 2, still came up blanks. The other one was a crit. So
It's because analog dice don't live.
my analog dice seem to love telling a story, which I'm here for, honestly. Like, you saw what they did in that fight with the Bali. They were all like, let's go.
All right, so you're looking around, and you know, stuff smashed up. You almost get the impression that he may have been in bed when they busted on him. You're looking around. The drawer by the nightstand's pulled out. There's a pen sitting on top of the nightstand. And enough space. You know, the pen's over to one side, and like there's a big empty space. You start looking around at stuff on the ground. You find like a legal pad.
Yeah.
Though it's had the top, dozen or so pages torn off of it.
Okay. Anything to that?
I don't know, you got a legal pad. Somebody took the time to remove the top sheets.
Huh. Okay, so the thing that kind of stand out is the legal pad had a bunch of sheets torn off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read through the rest of it, see if, is there anything that might hint as to what those top sheets might have been, given like context
Context
clues.
clues. It's just a shopping list.
So they weren't torn off real neatly.
Mm-hmm.
So for a couple of pages, like there's little chunks at the top that are still there.
Yeah.
And one of them, you make out enough of it to see that there's a date, like he was dating the top of the page.
Okay.
Dating back to I think it was March. You recognize the date. It's when that body was found in your bar.
Damn it, Zeke.
Okay. So it looks. That's about all I get out of that one. That he might have been like notating weirdness.
Well, that date is really all you see uh, on the little scraps that are left.
Mm-hmm.
Though when you run your hand over the page, when you're touching the page, uh, it's like you can tell that last page you was writing on. There's a little impression.
Okay.
The top page you got in there, it doesn't have any writing on it, but you can feel a little impression.
Hmm.
Like a crayon rubbing.
Yeah, he'll like go to the back, like tear a page off the back, and pull out a pencil and like try to if he can get anything by doing like a rubbing.
All right.
Like
I don't think he'll get much anything,
you-
honestly,
you would
but
do it on the page that has the like heavy stuff on it, like where
yeah.
not a paper on top of it, or even just kind of hold it under the light and try and read it.
Mm.
That's fair, yeah. Okay, he'll do that.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
So you're
things
just
that
getting it like
me-
right up under the light.
things that me, the player, has never had to think about.
You've never
Yep.
had secret codes before?
Actually, no, I have not. I haven't had that many friends that would do that. And yeah, so what he'll do is he'll like pull the page up, and he'll like turn on the flashlight on his phone and like hold it under the page. Or over it, whichever gives the best of view.
What was? Help me remember here. What was the last weird thing that happened around the bar?
The last
bombs?
weird thing?
Was it the guy exploding and being thrown through the window, or was it the weird guy running across the parking lot with the volley?
It was the bombs.
No,
Yeah.
it was the police showing up searching for explosives.
Yeah,
Yeah, that they never found.
Right.
and he
So-
had been kind of mind fuckeried with, as far as we
Yeah.
can tell.
So you're not making out a lot, but it's like that's the date, maybe, and it's like he was noting down. Well, the police came and searched the bar for this, that, and the other.
Mm.
Leaves you with the distinct impression that he was just kind of starting to chronicle all the weird stuff.
Mm.
Luckily, I guess he didn't see the wolves running by a few days after that.
Yeah. Okay. He'll make a note of that in his phone.
Although at the very bottom you can kind of make out like he wrote himself a question. What is it? What you make out is Kyle mixed up in question mark. You're not sure at the beginning of this. What is he mixed up in something? What is he mixed up in?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay.
Anything else you want to do in Zeke's apartment or Zeke's townhouse?
Now he'll leave.
Okay. So you slip out the back door. You're walking past Zeke's car.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another wits awareness.
Sure. Centaur, no.
No, this is both of these are visual. Okay. So walking away from the hound, walking past his car, his mailbox is there at the end. You notice a slight bulge up under the mailbox that you had not noticed before. When you walk up to it and snap it off, it's one of those little small cameras.
Ooh.
Okay. So snapping it off. So you notice the shape. It's one of the small cameras, so he's not going to be like tilting that up to look at his face or anything to look at it.
Yeah.
He'll just be holding it down. Considering he parked farther away, given the angle it was at, do you think that it got a? Would he believe that it got a look at his vehicle?
No, it was pointed towards the house.
Okay.
So it would have gotten you and Shiloh from the back as you walked into the place.
Okay. These cameras, do they pick up sound?
They should, yes.
Okay.
Oh no, well, y'all figured out exactly what model they were. Yes, they do.
They do? Okay.
Are you gonna say something vaguely threatening?
Just gonna pterodactyl screech into the camera.
Just have Shiloh bark really loud for like 30 minutes.
Piss off the whole neighborhood.
He's gonna walk back to his truck. He's gonna put it in his pocket.
Making sure it's like powered down and everything, right?
No. And Jeremy walked off.
As you approach the truck,
I'm still here. I'm just,
Okay.
I had to get...
Shiloh perks up to attention and starts sniffing around the truck. There's a new person smell here.
Where?
Mostly around kind of the back end of the truck. He's pretty sure they circled the truck, but there's more back here.
Okay, I'll check the back of the truck.
Okay. Give me what's awareness.
That's much better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, yeah, that's quite good. So you start feeling around up under there, and you find something when you come out. come out with an Apple AirTag sort of thing.
Ooh.
Oh, one of those tracking.
Mhm.
Like an RFID.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, say it's actually just an Apple brand. Like it's a consumer brand, not a.
Okay.
The Amazon legally distinct.
So he has that, and he has this camera. Camera gets shut off. So does this scent go anywhere?
No, give me another roll for Shiloh.
I mean, Kyle will scent too, since the scent was pointed out.
Mhm.
So I'll do my first roll with Shiloh, and then I'll do another roll with Kyle.
I had to put Vicks across my face because as soon as I said I was
Uh,
cured, sinus pressure just hit.
Yeah, just one success for Shiloh,
Jinx yourself.
and
I'm Hispanic, but Vicks is what I do.
2 for Kyle.
Need some soup too, man.
Oh no, that's coming up next. Where to go? I have a Campbell's soup. Campbell's and a Sprite.
Fair enough.
So y'all managed to follow the trail back. It goes down up to the door of one of the townhouses,
Mm-hmm.
and then down to the door of the next townhouse, and then down a couple more. Like they had walked to the back door and then just walked back and forth between several of the townhouses.
Hmm.
Like they were intentionally confusing their trail a little bit.
Okay. Do I get anything, or?
Oh, that is what you got. You roll better than Shiloh. That's
Okay.
kind of combined what y'all come up with. You follow the trail. You're not sure which door they ducked into.
Right. Hmm. So what he'll do is he will put the camera and the Apple thing down, like near the back of the truck. Camera is off. Point of order.
Okay.
Is there any like woods back here in this parking lot, or no?
Not really. You're in this alleyway, and it's like the back of one row of townhouses, and then across the road or across the alley is the back of another row of townhouses. So you got these two streets of them that are back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much all concrete with the occasional little stripe of grass separating one property from another.
Mm-hmm. So nowhere I could really stage an ambush from.
You could cross the road and hide behind some trash cans. Assuming whoever it is isn't watching you out of the window.
Yeah. Okay, so scratch that. He wouldn't drop them, but he would. Is there a way to turn off one of those Apple things?
That's a good question. I do not know the answer to
I
it.
think putting it in like an RFID kind of thing, but let me quadruple check that.
I'll say because I don't use Apple products. I have no idea.
Time to be put on the list again.
Yeah, well, I'm just racking them up.
It happens.
Let's see. To disable AirTags, AirPods, so find my network accessories. Apparently, you have to remove the battery,
Hmm.
which requires physical access, which you had.
Okay.
So yeah, might be a few minutes of fiddling around to figure out how to get it open.
Alternatively,
That could also work.
Can't be on if it's in half.
Mhm. Well, actually, but no, we might need that.
It literally just like turns. You press down and rotate it, and it pops out.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so he'll.
Okay, you take a battery. So you have the camera turned off and the iPod
AirTag.
AirTag is
Mhm.
turned off as well.
Okay. And then he will pull away and drive on. Though he'll drive a little slow, see if anyone's going like, "What's going on?"
Let me roll to see if anybody in the neighborhood has noticed this car just lurking back there.
It's like midnight. No one's looking.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, yeah, he's not like puttering at like 1 mile an hour. He's doing like, I'm leaving speeds.
Well, I rolled 3 dice and got 3 successes, so somebody noticed.
Yeah.
Uh, you know the stereotypical nosy neighbor
Mm-hmm.
that's usually like usually depicted as like an older woman. That's kind of what you see.
Yeah.
As you drive by you drive by slowly by one of the houses that has a light or two on, and you see somebody pull their curtain back and watch you drive by.
Yeah, he just goes like a.
Eustace, that idiot's outside again.
Something about a slab.
I mean, you joke, but we kept running into that guy at Dragon Con.
Next year, just make a slab carried around.
Yeah.
All right. So you make your slow exit from the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
What are you other two doing?
We were doing reconnaissance around the domain.
Yep, keeping an ear out for
Weirdos.
any information of, hey, we found the van.
Especially if we haven't been texted any updates yet.
This would probably take him a little while.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Your hands are busy. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all get an email from, or not, get a text from Ada. She has found out there have been some minuses, not around here, but in town.
Friends or strangers?
Anarch or Cam?
Trying to think of how y'all would define that subtly in a text.
Was it anyone we graduated with?
When you graduate.
I think Egidio's intent is to find if they're not necessarily Cam or Anarch.
She doesn't think it's anybody you knew personally, but she can't be 100% sure of that.
Mm.
We'll
Seems to be
swing
picking
by
off
and-
stragglers, sort of thing. Stragglers, I should say. But anyway, she's letting you know she has caught murmurs of that. Also, other people. There have been other complaints of rambunctious litterers elsewhere in town.
I'll start drafting a
People are getting-
PSA.
People are getting hungry and desperate.
Clearly, instead of a soup kitchen.
Soup. Good soup. As JD as they're like kind of doing the reconnaissance bit, do you think we could maybe do something with that? I mean, how much blood could we technically get away with from the blood bank before we get caught?
I've been pretty good.
Maybe even
Just blame a lot of blood on someone being COVID positive. That's what I do.
that, or do you think folks would eat deer if we managed to catch some, or maybe even cow? I don't know. Pigs are supposed to be pretty close to human, right?
I don't know.
Like medically for stuff.
Still come over if you want. Medically, sure. I medically speaking, yeah, but
Maybe
good
get in
luck. Good
touch.
luck selling that to a Ventru.
Oh, important a storm.
I
If
agree with
nothing
you. I'm just
else,
saying.
maybe try and go with some butchers in town. Maybe I don't know. Just something. It's not, you know, not for long term, but just so no one is leaving wrappers everywhere.
Really have a meeting about this sometime in the near future. Just
Probably
one of
not
the
when
things. Just stop leaving wrappers everywhere. You know what I'm talking about.
community littering initiative. Probably not while there's hunters about.
No, but we've had 2 different chances to bring it up and kind of dropped the ball.
Maybe get the word out. Get some more blood somewhere where we can at least folks that aren't picky that can stomach it can get something. I'll
Yeah.
see what I can do as well. I mean,
I don't want to
maybe
ask the guy to do more, but
no. We can see if there are there any like butchers or anything like that. Any kind of nearby farmland? Probably not farmland, but
You got farms outside the city.
yeah.
You go out there and braid the lupines for cow.
yeah, well, and the other thing is, and Jitty will be like, the blood isn't like actually blood, right?
Elaborate. I
The,
mean,
on the meat, it's not like you cut a steak, like
yeah, no, but the butchers, if they're butchering the whole animal, they will drain the blood.
that's true. However long that'll last is, up to
Yeah, spitballing here.
particular taste.
Yeah. See what we can do at least. Let's add my name to another weird Google search.
No, I've seen it happen like in real life. Just they're just like hung.
Oh no, but no, like if you can buy just uh,
Use it
beef
for like a broth.
or pork blood.
So how many of you have seen the movie John Carpenter's Vampires?
In bits and pieces.
Okay. I don't. I've never
Maybe?
watched the movie. I've read the book it was based off of. And it's it's about vampire hunters. And there's a scene where they go to a butcher to buy blood, and I just remember the line because when the butcher found out they only wanted the blood, he did what any good Baptist would do, and he doubled the price because he figured they were some kind of weirdos.
Correct.
So you can actually buy it and get it shipped.
Shipped, it would probably be too old to do a vampire any good.
Yeah.
It's probably local butchers that have it
Yeah.
ready.
If nothing else, open a butcher.
Next business venture.
Yeah, next business venture is, I guess, a butcher.
Just buy out someone's like struggling mom and pop shop.
Let's see. There's a Wayne's Farm meat processing plant near Decatur. Well, they've got a couple of things.
This has become a thing.
There's
Get a couple ghouls in there.
Trevor. Oh, that's. It also pulled up a State Farm location because the guy's name is Trevor Butcher.
Not bad.
So yeah, there's that might be a
There's
spot to look
options.
into.
Add to the list tomorrow evening. Like, hey, you need like really fresh.
Well, Kyle's a local, and he's not here right now, so
Something to maybe ask him about. There's
Hmm.
got to be some kind of maybe old black market connections.
no, that's me.
Okay, maybe old gang connections with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a business like that around. Wayne Farms has got a couple of processing places around, so that is something y'all could potentially look into.
Yeah.
It's outside the domain proper, but that doesn't mean you can't get influence with people.
Oh yeah. A little bit of money.
Grease the palm. Any palm.
Yeah.
Look, we just take this tub of stuff away. You do the paperwork saying you disposed of it properly.
Yep.
Exactly.
We promise not to pour it in the local creeks or anything weird.
We solemnly swear.
None of it will go to waste. We promise.
The EPA will not come looking for it.
Nor
They
will any
do?
other governmental body.
Ay, ay, ay. All right.
Well, that's our epiphany for the game.
Yeah, we're gonna get to livestock bloods for science.
It just has a note: livestock blood ? Butchers are weird.
Well, this one is like they collect the plasma and the raw serum and all that. Whole blood, red blood.
Just don't let Zeke find out that y'all are investing in all this weird stuff. It'll go into his notepad. Assuming he lives to write it.
And then some hunter will rip it off.
Yep. What's that cat doing? Do we see any more vans? Hear anything else?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
And the guys Miles sent out on motorbikes didn't find it. But they had enough of a head start they could have turned down any street.
Yeah. Any of the other baronries mention anything?
No. Via coded message, some of them have suffered casualties over the last couple days.
How?
Like, nobody important, quote.
No one ranking yet.
Egidio will
The
text
young and the dumb,
Kyle.
mostly.
Egidio will text Kyle, thumbs up, thumbs down emoji. Well, he's probably at this point like pulling the camera off.
the deep thoughts out of Kyle.
You know that gif of like the Grinch disappearing behind a door? That's
Yeah?
just like cackling. That's the response he gets.
It's Egidia's turn to be like, what?
Just looking at the gift, like, that can't be anything good, I'm sure.
Egidia looks at it like, oh, that's how that feels.
Yeah.
Followed by the meme of the old man going,
Guess I'll die.
All right, you head back to the office, Kyle.
Is GPS tracking it stuff on you?
That's all off.
Hey, took the battery out.
What he will do is he'll just kind of drive around.
Okay.
No particular place. Just, going into the domain, out of the domain, not going into other people's domains. But sort of driving around, seeing if anyone's like, get that car.
You have a police car follow you for just a little bit.
Mhm.
But, just because you've done a loop through a, couple streets of a neighborhood, and apparently they noticed.
And they realize he's just continuing on.
Apparently they must have come to the conclusion that you were just out cruising because you've been may have been cooped up in your house or something.
Yeah.
And you probably see a few other people that are out driving.
Mm.
Though it's late enough, probably not too many.
Yeah.
And while you're driving around like that, it begins to rain.
Okay.
The GDO's inside. Don't act like it's raining out.
Probably he doesn't know what rain is. Just, hasn't felt it in a minute.
Alright, so is there anything else y'all want to get done this night?
Probably just trade notes.
He is going to. He'll send a map emoji and a question mark to the coterie chat.
I'll send an emoji of an office. I'll send a gif of a spinning office chair.
X. And then the running man immediately, like several of them.
Emma just looking at this like, I'm so confused.
The storyteller's still here listening to it. I'm so confused.
The player, I'm so confused.
Beer emoji? Question mark?
Get a truck emoji instead.
Emma looking at it from, this isn't helping at all.
Followed by another map question mark.
I'll put the coordinates of where we are currently? Question mark.
Kyle heads there.
And y'all
Really
are
gotta
still at the
come up with
office,
like a
correct?
key or something. Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
went back there after.
That's why he's just using emojis.
I was like, I'm either too old or too young for this. I'm not sure which.
All right, so you get back to the office. And by this time, of
Wow.
course, the bar is closed down.
Mhm.
And you get a text from the workers. When they've closed up, they tell you they've locked up behind them.
He'll tell him thank you.
Oh yeah, should they come in like normal tomorrow night, or who's got a key?
Who's kind of like the most senior of them? Whichever one that is.
Okay.
He'll say they're in charge and until Zeke gets back. And they said they had already locked up, but they were in the process of locking up.
They'd already locked up. By the time you finished all your running around, they've already locked up.
Okay. Say, so what time do we get up?
This time of year, about 7-ish is when the sun starts hitting.
Okay. He'll tell
Well,
him
let's say
to-
6:30 because y'all are a little earlier than where we're currently at.
Yeah, he'll tell him to come in at 7 tomorrow, and he'll give like the next highest person in charge the spare key.
Okay. And you get a bunch of thumbs up from everybody that knows to come in a little late.
Hmm.
All right, so eventually I'll meet back up at the office.
Mhm.
All right. I mean, we didn't see shit, so. But we did think of a good idea. Butcher
Can I buy,
shops.
can I buy a butcher or like a meat processing factory?
Yeah. Do you know of any in the area?
Okay, why?
Blood?
Okay, why? Is this
There's
something that become important?
there's people leaving wrappers everywhere. Wrappers being dead bodies. At least until
Ours?
ours and
Unless
others.
you have.
No, I'm saying, are they our
The
people or
one
people crossing over and leaving wrappers to bring attention onto us and away from them?
Be that
the
as it
one
may.
the one Miles went to clean up after was one of ours. I recognized them when I initially stumbled across them. I wasn't gonna like interrupt them.
Something I'll take feeding a little too seriously.
I don't know how there they were.
Gotcha.
Well, I do know of one, but it's not in our control.
Things to add to our list to do.
Yeah, I'll show it to you later. And then he'll pull out a camera and that AirPod thing out of his pocket and set it on the table.
That's
All
a
right.
thing. Where'd you pick up that fun new toys?
Well, this was underneath Zeke's mailbox, watching his townhouse. And this was on the back of my truck after I finished searching the townhouse.
This is why I just do Ubers.
Did you catch anybody? He checks, looks at his hands and like outfit. You don't have any blood, so I'm guessing you did not catch and murder this person.
Unfortunately.
At least know what they smell like.
Does he point at Shiloh?
I mean, I got the scent, but they made a show of a confusing trail,
So they know you can track by scent.
or somebody can.
Well, if that van was there from who knows how long it's been, then it stands to reason that they could have just walked to the bar or wherever you leave your truck, or maybe it was just in the bar. Boop. And then they know it's yours.
Mainly what I need is I need someone to be able to reverse track this back to whatever.
Account.
Yeah.
I don't know if Walter's still doing that project he had with the NOS, but be a good place to start.
The Genio picks up one of the air tags. Is it like a literal Apple air tag, or is it
Yeah, it's an Apple.
like it's actual one? He looks at it and goes, "These are like $30 to $40. These are not cheap." That's each of these little things.
You're being bankrolled by a hunter, or our hunter with a bankroll, though. 30 to 40 bucks, right connections.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that we can trace back?
That's a Walter question. Well,
That is a Walter
that
question.
could be that could be an Ingenio question. He has two in technology.
Well, I don't know. It's something I'm gonna have to research.
Hmm.
So it could be a Walter question for next time.
A Google.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll look at the camera. Is there anything special about it?
That was like pretty much the same model y'all been running across.
Is there an air tag on it?
No, there's not.
You'll see him shuffle his thumbs over the metal shell.
All right.
Any thoughts?
Just a GoPro. Process it. This is some stuff for. Well, Ichigo goes to Walter's cubicle area, and there's a little box that no one has noticed yet. It's almost like a dead drop
Mm-hmm.
for specifically Ichigo, and just puts the camera and the air tag in there with a note.
Okay.
He'll look at that later. And he taps the box.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know. He knows somebody who knows.
Fair.
But that's the only one we've seen today. Wait. There is something we can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a memory card? Does the camera have a memory card on it?
Yes, I thought so.
And he will. It's off, so he'll try to take the memory card out.
Okay.
See if there's a machine that'll play it.
Well, you've got computers here in this place, so probably.
Yeah. You'll just run the footage.
It starts up with a little bit of movement as whoever sets it up was fiddling with it, so it's all jangly, and then it's just sitting there looking at the back of Zeke's townhouse.
Are they smart enough to walk away from the camera as they set it up? Or
Yeah, it's like they may have been over to one side or something. It's like you don't
Okay.
see them, you just see the camera jiggling as they finish.
they're not amateur. They're not amateurs.
Not
Got it.
amateurs now. And then you fast forward, and the next thing of note that you really see is Kyle and Shiloh walking by. Shiloh sniffing around.
So they've already, and he'll stop and he'll be like, "Well, there's you and there's Shiloh." So they've already done the thing, and they put the camera there specifically to get you out there.
Hmm.
Does it show them coming back, and then where he grabs the thing?
Mhm.
At any point, is Kyle's face exposed?
Yeah, coming out the door it probably would be.
Okay.
Now, nothing you didn't see anything that looked like supernatural or masquerade breach.
Sure, just a guy coming down the steps, but
You see him walk up to the door and be a little suspicious about the door and kind of fiddle around with the door a little bit and then go in.
okay. Oh, that's that. And he puts the memory card back in the camera and then back in the dead drop.
Hmm.
Oh, well, that's interesting. They're targeting the person first that they think is important to one of them, and then they go put the camera up after they've done whatever they do.
The amount of time that passes, would they have set it up knowing that he was already there?
That who was already there.
That Kyle had already gone into Zeke's house?
No, they set it up ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at beta time.
Do I have like a time frame between they've set it up and Kyle's there?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
It would have been like early that morning.
Okay.
Like 1 a.m. or late enough
last
that Zeke had gotten home and crashed out, but from the previous day's work. But
Okay. So he was like, that's 1 a.m. He fast forwards all the way.
yeah, you had like a
And
whole
knows-
day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's the whole day night cycle, and no one came out of the front door.
Well, this is the back door it's watching me. Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Well, whoever it was, they attacked him while he was in bed.
That checks out.
And apparently he had been taking notes.
Well, that's just a problem.
Do you have the notes?
No, because they were all torn out of the legal pad that he had.
That's a very big problem.
Mhm.
Do you have a weird string board?
Not that I could see.
Okay. Just was figuring out how much of a conspiracy theorist Zeke was.
But he was noting dates and keeping track of the weirdness happening at the bar.
Like a good manager.
And apparently at the end also was questioning if I was wrapped up in it or not, or what I had been gotten wrapped up in.
Like a good manager.
Well, it's like, oh man,
So
you
who
should be.
knows?
The boss is after something weird. Then you make notes just in
Dear
case
diary.
in case it blows up.
Mhm.
Make sure I'm not capable for any of this.
My life story started back in the 80s when I was bored.
All right, so it's getting later in the night or later in the morning by this point.
Mm-hmm.
And Judy will say, "Well, if there's nothing else, headed back."
As far as I'm aware, nothing else. Checks her phone, checks the emails.
I'll text Walter specifically and just be like, "Hey, I left you a couple goodies at home base.
We'll assume that you get something back acknowledging.
Mhm.
All right, how are y'all going about getting home?
Can't
Um,
obfuscate, so serpent or
Skill
circuitous
issue.
routes.
skill
Well, I can
issue turns into
obfuscate, but then I
shadow.
can't move.
So you get on a hand truck, you obfuscate, and you let a GDO roll you home.
I think that would still be counted as moving.
Probably.
Mm.
All right, but everybody's being careful getting home. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the sun rises and y'all sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the sun sets the next evening.
Hungry.
I too am hungry.
That's 2 nights in a row for you.
She's just surviving off spite. Spite and vibes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up and you know you have to go unlock the bar fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Is there anything you do before you leave?
Feed the rat. Feed Shiloh. And yeah, head to the bar.
Okay. Taking Shiloh with you or leaving him in the house?
I'll tell him to guard the house.
Oh, he liked all the running around y'all did yesterday. But he takes guarding serious too, so.
Mhm.
Alright, so you head off to the bar. Emma, what are you doing?
Usual checking of email and phone and all that.
Actually, scratch that. Sorry. He'll take Shiloh with him. He's gonna go hunt an animal.
No.
Okay, sorry. Back to.
You're
Alright.
good.
I just checked what my hunger was. It's at 3. And it's like, nope.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Bad. Yeah, she's gonna check the phone, the Baron chat, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Check the emails. See if anything has occurred during the day.
One of the barons is suggesting that y'all have a get together. He realizes there may be scheduling difficulties, but it still probably needs to happen.
And sooner rather than later. It's been a while since we all got together for a game of cards, as it were.
Been a while.
Been a while. Like I'm free tonight and can see if I can free up some of the other barons. Or not, she wouldn't say other barons, but see if I can get the rest of the group together for a party.
Right. And there's some back and forth as people are trying to work out a schedule.
Mhm.
Egidio, what are you doing?
Egidio will have a post in that. Oh yeah, I can meet up, whatever. In that Baron chat, but he wakes up, turns on Sensi Unseen, looks around, sees if Mildred's around.
She is. She's standing upstairs when you get up there.
Just standing upstairs.
Yep. Like she was just watching your door, waiting for you to come out.
Menacingly.
I walk out. I do the thing where I pretend I don't see her, but I completely see her.
She's smiling.
Oh no.
It's almost smug.
I'll look up and be like, "Oh, good evening, Mildred, wherever you are."
She just keeps watching it. So.
Yep. And then he gets out, or he will leave. Is there anything weird in the house?
No, you don't see anything. She doesn't look like she's made a mess.
Okay. I think Gideon would take a little longer than usual to leave, and wait for her. Just give it like another 10 minutes and see, like, pretending he's busying himself away, and see if she leaves.
Well, she does eventually, yes.
And then he will, in the spot where she wrote, "Hell's big enough for both of us."
Does the GDO eventually clean that off?
No, it's fucking cool.
No.
Egidio looks back at it, just like it's like all dried and caked. I think he'll write something to the effect of, "Until then, let's be together," and then just leave it at that.
Are you flirting with your poltergeist?
And then he'll leave. Or I guess it'll stay some more closer to like, "Until then, stay a while." Why don't you?
Okay.
Less flirty, more like, "Let's be friends."
Why can't we be friends?
So as you're leaving, your neighbor across the road is sitting on his porch. He waves at you when he sees you.
Hey.
He's looking a little stressed out.
Good
But,
buddy?
you know, he was already looking. Oh yeah, it's fine. Just stuck at home, not working.
Yeah.
Which
Oh
I-
shit! They
Which
yeah,
if I remember the last time he was talking to you, he was looking for work.
Yeah. Ah shit! Layoffs got you, or you just couldn't find anything?
I can't. With everything shut down, I can't find nothing.
Can't do any of those, like, I don't know, work from home places.
I'm looking, but
Uber.
I mean, you got the stimulus thing, so you know my bills are paid at least a little bit. But
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know about Uber though, because you know I don't want to go catch nothing.
That's fair. It's also really hard to do your taxes at the end of the year too.
Is it?
At least that's what I've heard.
Huh, never really thought about that.
Yeah, all those people who are like self, whatever, have like 40 W-4 forms that they have to fill out.
Good.
Yeah, some of those people, it's ridiculous. I heard this guy who like Uber Eats, like, all those big guys, and just like had so many tax forms to fill out.
Where are you headed off to tonight?
I like to walk in the evening. Like to get what's left of the cool air on me. I know it's not really a thing here, but close enough.
Here it's just humid air.
Yeah,
Oh well, I won't keep you anymore.
Hey, yeah, you have a good one. Be careful. Just a lot of weird shit happening lately, so
Yeah, town's
your
going
head
to
down.
crap.
Well, from what I've heard, the town already went to crap. This is just people suffering for it.
All right, Kyle, you roll in. You roll up to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple of employees already, have already gotten there. They're parked waiting on you.
Yeah. You'll let him in.
They ask you if you heard anything from Zeke.
Not yet.
Have you called the police yet?
I will when I get home. I want to give him the night to see if he shows up.
So they go. They're getting to work, and they get everything set up.
Mm-hmm.
A little later, one of them comes up. Oh, hey, I found this. I think it's Zeke's tablet.
Oh, thanks. I'll keep a hold on it for him.
Like, I wonder why he would have left it here. And then she goes on to the store. You've got customers start coming, not inside the store or building, or doing the drive-through mostly.
Yeah. He'll go to the office and he'll see about getting into the tablet.
Okay, you hit the button, it opens right up.
Before it opens up, he'll take a look at it and it's like, is there any like a camera on the tablet?
Oh, sure. It's your typical little Android tablet.
A little bit of tape over that.
Yeah, I was say masking tape over that. Then he'll turn it on.
Just picture you looking directly at the camera. Oh, there he is. Then put the mask in. But yeah, it opens up to the homepage of the actual.
Quick, put it in airplane mode.
Actually, yeah. Given his background, that's what he'd probably do.
Okay,
Is
you
he'd
switch it over to airplane mode.
And then he'll start like scrolling through, see if there's anything on there that he can find.
Oh, you can go through his picture roll. You can look in his, you can look through some of his messages, his social medias.
Yeah.
You're not really running across anything strange. You pull up his, it's not called Notepad,
Notes app.
Notes app.
Yeah.
Just looking to see if maybe he was keeping notes about the bar on there, but you don't find anything. There's like shopping lists and whatnot, but you do find a "Where's My Phone" app. That one kind of sticks out to you.
Yeah.
And probably some time wasting games or whatever. So.
Yeah, he'll check the Where's My Phone app thing.
You click that, it gets a ping. Go type in app and it immediately wants to say Apple. But but yeah, I mean it pulls it up. And it is oh, hang on. I was looking at that map and it wasn't making sense. That's Decatur, Georgia. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, save that place. But yeah, it pulls up an address. You recognize it as a basically an old shut down lumber place. I mean, not where they made the lumber, just where they sold it stuff. It's up north of you, getting closer to the river. It's not on the river, but it's up that way. You know, past the top of y'all's domain. Kind of on the outskirts. Kind of on the outskirts of the city.
Just picturing them being like vaudevillains now with big curly mustaches, where they have Zeke attached to a with.
James Bond villain.
Well, this is not a lumber mill. This was like a spot that the contractors would go to buy their supplies or whatever.
They still have to cut it.
That's true. I'm not saying they wouldn't have saws, but they're not like the big ones cutting logs in half or anything.
Okay.
But the place has been shut down for a couple of years now. So.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, he'll make note of that.
Okay. As everybody's getting ready, a lady walks up and knocks on the door.
As in like Kyle's office door, or just the door into the building?
The door into the building. Oh, that's right. You stepped back in the office. So you would probably hear the knock.
Yeah.
You hear one of the employees crack the door open, and start into the whole, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed." But the woman's looking for Zeke. Apparently, it's his girlfriend. She's called him a couple times, didn't get an answer. She swung by his place. He never answered the door. So she swung by here, hoping he was at work. And a couple of the employees start talking to her about, "Oh yeah, we didn't see him yesterday. He didn't show up."
Sorry, he left your ass.
He said
Yeah,
to tell
Kyle.
you he was going out to get a pack of cigarettes.
Went to go get a carton of milk.
Yeah, Kyle will come out of the office and he'll spot her and is like, "Oh, hello?"
She's like, "Oh, hello. They were just telling me Zeke hadn't been to work yesterday."
Yeah. Do you know if he's sick?
I don't know. I couldn't get a hold of him yesterday, and then I couldn't get a hold of him today. I ran by his place earlier, but I knocked on the door, but he didn't answer.
Yeah. I was gonna give it till the end of the workday today. If he still didn't show up, I was gonna see about filing a missing persons report if you want me to.
Yes, she'd appreciate that.
Because not like him to be gone for 2 days. I understand a stomach bug, but
Yeah, well, he's always good about getting back if he misses you.
mhm.
Uh, but she's just, she's real concerned, but
Yeah.
She's like, but it's not too late. I mean, it's not very late. We could probably call now. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call. Go ahead and call and see if they can get started.
Mhm.
I guess it's been 24 hours. That's the thing. Don't you have to wait 24 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
And she's like on her phone as she walks back to her car.
Phone explodes.
Oh, my phone exploded.
I don't know. Have you not seen oh, what was it? I forgot what the name of the movie was called.
Oh.
I need to look this up now.
Is it a Final Destination or something, or
No,
with
it's
those weird deaths?
no. It's about a guy who's basically like a super spy that ended up like getting arrested, and he's like killing people from inside of his jail cell. No one knows how he does it, and one of them is like a judge pulls out a phone to answer the phone, and like the phone just explodes.
No exploding phones.
That's gonna bug me that I don't remember what that's called.
All right. So anyway, you're at the bar. So GDO, where are you going once you finish talking to your neighbor?
Taking a little another circuitous route around. I think I want to go back and see approximately where they originally were. Just sneak up and see if they're there again.
No, they're not.
They're not. Worth a shot. But I am intentionally keeping the shadows and becoming a shadow.
That's fair.
But I'll look around, keep my eyes peeled while I head to the office.
Let's see. If you were coming up behind where they were at, you'd have been in the wooded area. Give me a wits awareness.
Yep. I will have activated heightened senses, so put that in as well. 4 success.
You notice there's a couple of game cameras set up.
Like trail cameras?
Yeah.
Where are they pointing?
They're just in the woods. I mean, it's not like they're pointing out of the woods at a building or something. They're just in the woods.
Huh. Are they new?
You haven't noticed them before.
I guess what I'm asking is if I go up to them, staying out of the line of sight, and I look to where they're staked, does that stake look fresh?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Well, all right then.
There is a little bit of dried corn laid down in front of them.
Not enough to attract it. Not enough to actually do what it's supposed to do.
I don't know how much corn is required to attract an animal that eats corn.
And hunting is illegal in the city limits, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. But the piles are set up where they would be right from the camera. So. Maybe it's just a local whose board decided
Who's eating the deer?
Yeah, he will very quietly. He'll activate signs of death if he needs to. Just unscrew one, remove it, make sure he's not facing it, because he is a walking masquerade violation right now. Turn it off, put it up, check for an RFID or an AirTag or whatever,
No, anything like that.
and then he'll do the same to the other one.
I don't guess trail cameras do. But
We'll
okay,
grab both of them.
You wind up turning them both off.
Yep, and then he'll head towards the office.
Are you keeping them, or do you just turn them off and leave them where they're at?
I will keep them. Well, that's a good question. I think he would just turn them off because he knows. I think he's hip to the game now. And in fact, I think this redoubles his efforts to go to the office and kind of use their own weapons against them. Or he'll have his phone. He'll turn the camera on and just have it going. He has it fully charged. He has one of those like batteries stuck to it, and he just like puts a little bit of what do you call it? The little things you use, the little command things, the adhesives. Just
Command
do four
strip.
corners.
Oh,
That's the one. Command strips just onto something where he can hide it, but it has good sight.
So you've got your camera
Watching
their camera to see who comes
Yep.
and fiddles with it. Okay.
He'll have that going. He'll head back to the office and he'll have a mental
A mental what now?
he'll have a mental timer for like 45 minutes from now, an hour from now, just to go and check.
Okay. All right, Emma. Once you finish swapping, send out emails and texts and stuff. What you gonna do?
Head to the office. Keep up on anything that is going on. Take a like a route past the dead man's, but not like directly past. Just kind of like, okay, they're open. It's not on fire. That's good.
Yeah, you definitely see. You see people going through the drive-through. You see workers in there.
You may also reach out to shoot. The one thin blood they've been dealing with, and I can't remember his name right now. It started with an F.
Furman?
I think. Furman. And be like, hey, just checking in on the chemistry club if you guys ever needing anything.
We're good right now. We got a new clubhouse set up. I should show you where it's at sometime.
Don't be too quick on that. I know you guys have been working hard trying to keep busy during the boredom of the lockdown. Just let me know if you need anything and we'll keep you in the loop on any fun gossip.
Yeah, he's heard there's been a little bit of trouble lately. But...
Yeah, you know how stir-crazy people can get. People have been littering a lot, just, things like that.
Yeah, we're a little short on food over this way too. Now think about it. Should probably go shopping.
Yeah, we've been thinking about doing a fundraiser, do like a canned food drive or something. We'll get back to you if anything comes from that.
Okay.
You will hang out at the office until... Have they agreed on a meeting time?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because you started that conversation.
Yeah, it's been like less than an hour.
Yeah. who knows if you'll manage it, the same night or not.
Yeah.
Considering there are security concerns, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So you were headed to the office. GDO, were you headed to the office, or were you going to swing by somewhere else?
Yeah, I'll go to the office. Just
Okay.
roundabout.
So both of y'all wind up getting there. Kyle's probably still at the bar. You're barely through the door before you're getting a message from Ada.
Yeehaw.
Uh-huh.
Pulls it out.
-3.
Shit.
In the mall.
Oh.
Oh bullshit. You at work tonight?
Yes, I'm at work now.
Okay. And resecures office and serendipitous route to the mall.
Yep. I will call Kyle.
Well, Kyle would have gotten these texts as well.
Okay.
If he's paying any attention to them.
Yes.
Well, did he? If he got the other text, was he replying to them? That determines if it's video calls or not.
How many did he send?
Well, Ada would have sent the texts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she sent
Yeah.
all the barons.
Gotcha. Yeah, he'd probably. He would respond to those, no.
Then yeah, Egidio would call then.
Okay.
And then he
Yes.
I know you saw that.
Yes, I did, but I'm dealing with something.
Respectfully, does it help out with either your thing from yesterday or this thing today?
Yes.
If you say so.
We'll
Just be
keep
back
you
there when you get a
updated.
chance. Yep.
All right, so you two make your way to the mall. When you get to the door, some of Bullard's security people let you in right away. They seem rather agitated.
I am too. Egidio, he's like, he has his go bag. He's like halfway to putting his coat on.
I don't think they're still here.
They lead you back, back to the behind the scenes area of the mall, back into the office areas. You see a cluster of folks standing around, including Bullard and Ada. Ada looks over at you screen, barons, and then she steps back, and you see, before you see 3 decapitated bodies.
You were saying?
Hang on, sorry.
Shit.
What was the number again?
And we will wrap right there for the night.
Yep.
Decapitated body
Right,
reveals a good.
Yeah. And you can, I'll give you the details on the scene next time.
Yep. We'll have more people next time, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
hopefully,
they're back next week.
hopefully we'll have a full card next time.
Yay.
So anyway, hope y'all had fun tonight. I enjoyed it as always. Hope anybody that came by and watched had fun. Anybody that watches later. Thanks to Vancouver by Night for dropping by. If you're looking for more games, check the schedule below. There are more games going on in Dire Bear. And until next week, again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me tonight was Eric playing Kyle, Jeremy playing Egidio, and Sarah playing Emma. And we will catch y'all next time.